Hi, it's Aprile Osborne here with Call It Closed International Realty. We are so glad to be joined today with Brent and Melissa Young out of the North Carolina, South Carolina area. This is Brent Young. He is the Brent Young team leader, and then his beautiful wife, which is absolutely the better half of him, Melissa Young, and like literally, she is the glue that sticks the whole thing together for sure, and definitely the brains behind the whole operation. so
Thank you.
we're so glad to have you guys join us today. I am honored that you guys are with Call It Closed, and Britt and Melissa were eXp agents before, icon agents, major movers and shakers. They are top producers in their market. Everything that they do in real estate, they put their hand to turns to gold. So they are incredible agents, and they represent their clients so beautifully, and they're incredible people. So Britt, Melissa, tell them a little bit about yourselves and how long you've been in real estate and just stuff like that.
I'll start. I got in real estate first back in 2001. And then Melissa joined me 4 years ago. She was in banking, manager of B of A, and then joined me here in real estate 4 years ago. And we are both full time, both licensed in North and South Carolina. I got my license in North Carolina first when we lived over there and picked up a secondary in South Carolina. My wife did the opposite. She got her South Carolina first. So she's a little bit better trained on South Carolina. I'm a bit better trained on North Carolina. Those little differences that we have straddling a border here in the Carolinas. But so for the most part, yeah, we're both full time and both enjoy doing real estate together. So.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
Yep, we closed 55 homes in the last year, and so we stay pretty busy, but we do it together, so that makes all the difference in the world.
yeah, you guys make an incredible team. And I know you have a couple kids too. You got a little full
Yes.
house as well.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, our kids are our son's 14 and our daughter's 16, and they also homeschool, and so we drag them to the office with us, and we kind of have our little daily routine, and they do their schoolwork and we do our real estate, and we just make it work. It's all one big happy family time all the time.
I love it.
Yeah, we started homeschooling because we were frustrated by how we were so busy during the summer, couldn't take any vacation during the summer, and yet that's when the kids were off. So we didn't really get a chance to spend our summer vacations with them. And yet during the wintertime, we like to go take our vacations then. And public schools weren't too happy when you pull them out of school when they're back from summer or Christmas break and all that stuff. So it works out great for us because we work them pretty much year round, except when we're on vacation. But yeah, we definitely find our winter vacations are much easier to take when we're not asking permission from somebody to pull them out of school. So.
So coronavirus didn't really affect us too much in our day-to-day life.
Wow, I was gonna say. So wonder, I mean, I don't know how you did 55 transactions and on top of that manage a team plus two teenagers that you're homeschooling. Like this is like, I don't even know. I think we should have a separate interview how you do that. For all the other real estate agents out there that are trying to homeschool for the first time in the middle of their career, it's a big deal.
Yeah.
So you have a team as well. How many agents are in your direct team?
We have two agents in our direct team that we've brought over from eXp. Um,
That's amazing. That's amazing. So buyer's agent, seller's agent, they can kind of do whichever they'd like.
they can kind of do whatever they like. They are more part time than we are, and they are more interested in the buyer side. One is not licensed in North Carolina, just in South, and the other one is just licensed in North, not in South. So one for each state. So,
It's really great and amazing how in this industry you can be part-time and still make a good living, especially when you're connected to a team. So it really is an amazing business to be in if you have that need to do it part-time.
yep.
So how long have you guys had your real estate license? Did you say that earlier, Brent?
So I got licensed. I started out in Las Vegas, Nevada in 2001.
Oh, wow.
Uh, So back then, we didn't have smartphones. Nobody expected you to work when you weren't at the office. Some agents were just getting high-speed internet at home, and I was actually one of them. When I started real estate in 2001, before that it was dial-up, and believe it or not, what we called a smartphone, I had a Palm Pilot prior to 2007 when the iPad or iPhone came out, but it was really nobody expected you to be on call 24 hours a day. Nobody wondered why you weren't pulling up properties for them and sending them emails. Most agents were lucky if they could even check their email on their phone. So things have definitely changed with all this smart technology, but a lot of it is your excuse as to why you're not working for them 24/7 has gone away. So now you have to manage your own time, and you have to decide when you're taking time off, and you have to decide what the boundaries are. And the biggest struggle is for agents to decide, okay, these are my hours, set those expectations for their clients, and then put their phone away.
Yeah, I'm with you. I got my license in 2001 as well. And I mean, it was the same thing, and it was easier to raise kids, in those days because you had your evenings a little bit more off, or at least if you knew you were going to be out showing property, you could make arrangements and things like that. And I think I had a BlackBerry, if that was the phone that, came out with all the fancy technology when it first came out. I hated that phone, but man, I remember those days. So you're a survivor of the crash too. And that's one thing that I love to bring up, because right now it's crazy to me that 86% of agents that get into the business right now quit within 2 years. So to be an agent that's been in the business as long as you have and survived it during ups and downs, we're in the middle of a pandemic, people say right now. And so, the market has had a little bit of its little lulls and highs. And I know that hasn't affected you guys too terribly much. Hasn't us much down here in Florida, just a little slowdown, but nothing drastic, nothing like what we experienced during the crash, of course. But so how's the market there holding up there in North Carolina and South Carolina as far as that goes?
Well, we've definitely seen an uptick in buyers right now that have come back into the market or entered the market. I think they figured out that their house was too small while they were all sitting at home quarantined. And now that our biggest county is Mecklenburg County, and they've reduced their restrictions on showings, and there's still some safety guidelines that they've got in place, but for the most part, a lot of buyers have figured out, look, we need to get rid of this house and get something we can all fit in, and still be able to survive together instead of, what might have been adequate before, they suddenly figured out isn't enough. So we got a lot of uptick in interest as well as great interest rates right now. So good time to be selling, good time to be buying. And we really found throughout the whole pandemic, the serious ones still needed to sell, still needed to buy. So we had quite a bit of activity that was still going on. We just had to do it under different guidelines. We have a 3D camera or 360 camera that we were able to use and actually sell houses sight unseen. We have a buyer that closes this week that they've never even seen their house, other than we showed them houses with the 3D camera, so they were able to walk through it virtually. But that's been handy. But for the most part, just to you were talking before about how we survived, not without scars, but we've been in kind of in a unique position in our real estate career. We've never lived and done real estate where our families and friends were. So we never had that sphere of influence to tap into. And so I feel for agents today that are, being told to come into real estate and, oh, by the way, just farm your sphere, because there's so much competition for their sphere. So I think agents really also need to understand they need to be unique. They need to be present. They need to be, in the face of everybody that they know, but also they need to learn how to create some business and establish rapport, because quite often if you're getting these Opcity, Zillow leads, Realtor.com leads, these type of leads, internet leads, require you to build rapport with people. And that's what we've had to learn to do. I've had to learn to do it. She's great, but I'm, on the other hand, I have to put on a personality that's maybe not my natural tendency. Early on in my real estate career, one of my clients said, "You'd be a great accountant." and that's not really a compliment, is it? But that's true. That's my natural tendency, is the numbers, and to get in there and be the answer guy, not be the friendly, personable, sparky, excitable guy. And so I've had to learn to put that on for clients, especially on the job interview when you go out there to take listing presentations. I love to go out and feel like I'm interviewing for the jobs over and over. So that's my favorite side, but it wasn't my natural tendency. So
you do,
and I took that a whole direction. So.
You're great. You do great. You're a natural. People love dealing with you guys. We get so many compliments, and your reviews of clients, they definitely love Melissa more than you, but
I agree. I do too.
I love it. I love it. Well, let's talk about a little bit about what was the eXp. You have a lot of kudos for eXp, because they were really the forerunners of the virtual world that we see in today's society. When I sold my Remax offices, I felt like this was the direction it was going to go, and I was heavily recruited by eXp. It just felt like it was missing a few pieces, but I did appreciate them bringing the virtual side, because we had 5 offices, the fanciest offices in our area, and agents just weren't using it because they were working out of their own space, their own homes. They, were in their car. The most successful real estate agents I have found in my business is if they're sitting around the office trying to ask questions of other agents, they're probably not that successful. The ones that are out there showing property, out there, doing listing presentations and networking and things of that nature, those are the ones that are busy. So they're spending more time at home or in a different situation than in the office. So I have a lot of respect for eXp and what they brought, that model to the table. But I felt like it was missing a few pieces, of course. And so I'd love to hear your thoughts on that, as far as eXp, what you loved about eXp, and then also what was the decision that made you leave eXp, because you're an icon agent, which is the top tier agent that there is in eXp, if I understand it correctly.
Right. Yeah. No. So during my career, I've been a part of a number of different compensation plans and a number of different companies. I started out my career at Century 21, 50-50 split, and the enticement to joining Century 21 was I went to Century 21's real estate school. And when you graduated, they gave you a little certificate saying, hey, what you paid for this schooling, we'll give it back to you in your transaction fees. I signed up and, did my first transaction there, realized they took so much money that's the only transaction I did with them. I took advantage of the training that they had there, and then went to a 100% office where I paid my own way and got 100% of the check with a simple transaction fee. So really, that second office that I was a part of, that's what I've always been wanting to get back to. And there's been varying degrees of getting to that in each marketplace that we've been in. In Las Vegas, I stayed at that type of thing, called 100% or desk fee office type thing. And then when I came here, I found a company that was very similar, didn't have any of the technology tools, didn't really have the support, then went to KW. And so when I went to Keller Williams, I had the opportunity to bring into the office. We had 500 agents at KW. I brought into their market center a store, a little honor store, because they didn't have anything around them. And when I did that, I realized, because the vendor gave out $2 little gift cards to every single agent, I was responsible for turning those $2 gift cards out to each of the 500 agents. And it took a long time to even see 100 of those agents. And that's where the light kind of went on, that look, there might be 500 agents here in this office, but less than 100 of them come in a month. That's what took us over to eXp. And definitely we were excited about the move to eXp because it broke ground in that virtual office, no brick and mortar, online, that I think most agents just figured out in the last 2 months they really need, because they weren't going to a brick and mortar even if they used to before. So we were very grateful for the experience we had at eXp. The story goes, yes, we iconed, which icon is kind of a catch-22. Icon is great for them because they give you a longevity incentive for them to have you stick around. They gave us back our cap, but you don't get it back for 3 years. So it really cost us our cap. You pay $16,000 a year to be at eXp. They give it back to you in stock that you don't invest in for 3 years. So when we made the decision to come over to Call It Closed, it wasn't just switching companies. It wasn't the expense wasn't just, hey, now we got to print new signs. It was, we have to give up our stock options that we felt like we had earned as a reward. But I realized that was in their best interest for me to keep that stock option and hope that it vests in 3 years and get awarded new ones every year. Why would I continue to hope that 3 years from now that stock was, going up, or and keep accruing those stock options that were, rewards for when I could switch over here. Here at Call It Closed, I get paid like an icon. So I don't feel like I gave something up other than I had to make that decision to break off from those stock options. And you could put a real dollar amount as to what it was worth at the time and say, look, is it the right thing to give up those stock options? And I felt like it was. It makes more sense to get paid like an icon every transaction, like I've already capped, not worry about any anniversary dates, not worry about what my split is, because there isn't one. And that was, I had to have numerous conversations with Chad, because I had to kind of go through that mental process, having come from Keller Williams and eXp, where your anniversary date means so much. For agents at those companies, it's kind of a dread date, because you start to pay again. Everybody gets excited. They post on their social media, all right, I capped. Well, that's real exciting for the company too. That means they made the maximum amount of dollars they're going to make off of you that year. But they're also really excited for your anniversary date. And I'm not saying that, people are selfishly, but that's when they start to make money off of you again. And so agents kind of have this little bit of a dread in those models where they start to pay 20% or 36% again, based on the company. And so it was a freeing thing to realize, look, I could come over here and get 100% every single time. And it really is full circle. It's back to what I had in Las Vegas, where I pay my monthly fee. I still get my 100%. I pay a transaction fee because I want the company. I mean, that makes total sense. It's a logical thing. The more transactions, the more our expenses are. But we can pass that along to our clients and truly get 100%. So I feel like we've come back to where I started, and with the online component and all the technology that we now have, it's amazing. So
yeah, that's a really good perspective. I love that you brought that up about the 3 years and the vesting, and how it's not like it's just written to you in a check. A lot of agents don't really understand that, because their goal is to get to icon, but when they get there, they don't realize what it takes to get that, what you're understanding there. And I think they've added some things where you've got to go to a certain amount of conventions and events, which also costs money. And so it's like, okay. And then even on top of that, you have your fee gets higher, at the end after you've capped. So there's like another $5,000 that's owed. And then you've got broker review fees. And I'm just like, I can't keep up. So what am I paying? I have this saying that I've had for a long time, and I'll never drop it, is like, if I go to Ruth's Chris and I order $100 steak, and you come out with a pork chop and then bring me a bill for the cost that I ordered that steak, I'm not gonna pay. I'm like, no, I'm not doing this. I go through Chick-fil-A, and if you forget a chicken sandwich, I'm going back to the line going, I have a chicken sandwich. So it's like, what are you paying for? What are you getting? You're paying $20,000 a year to be somewhere. What are you getting in return? And that's my thought process in these companies that you're paying these fees, especially today with the middle of a pandemic. If other markets, which other markets are getting shaken a little bit, or if you're an agent that hasn't been in and haven't stayed in for a long period of time and don't know how to sustain their business during this little bit of a thing that happens in the real estate industry, if you're not sustained in that, then you like how you got to write those checks each month, and then when those big checks come in for a commission check and 20% of it goes out, it's at the bottom of the line. It matters. It really does matter. And so that's why here at Call It Closed, we love that we're at 100% commission with a very small transaction fee. Just like Brent said, that we've in Florida been doing it for years, where we pass that on to our client. Just like when you buy a car, there's a dealer doc fee. Same thing here as well. So you're a true 100%. So on the residual side, now I know you recruited for a solid year there at eXp. And had little success, but how did that work out for you?
Thanks. That hurts a lot. No, it wasn't my fault, really.
No.
I will say it's a fault of the recruiting efforts are very strong in the Charlotte market for eXp.
Yeah.
Every agent has been asked numerous times of eXp. They've all heard the presentation. They've all got their objection handler pat answer that they give. No, I'm not interested. And quite frankly, I asked a number of those people that ended up moving over. It's just you didn't catch them at the right cycle. You didn't catch them right before their anniversary date when they're about to pay their cap again. You didn't catch them at the timing where they were ready. And that's the name of the game. It's the same thing with listings and, for sale by owners and finding sellers and buyers. You got to catch them at the right time. But it's still a matter of, it was frustrating to have so many agents asking so many people, and the reputation of eXp is preceding you in every time. And what also really, the day before I talked to David, so to kind of tell my little story here, was we had just gone, but as Icon agents, we were required to go, and I enjoy going to these conventions. I've joked with Chad that I'm going to be the one to put on our conventions here at Call It Closed, because I enjoy the boost you get in your energy by being around other agents and going and learning something new. Every agent has something to teach, and every agent gets better when they go to these conventions. So I went to a convention with eXp to get some of my cap back, right? And I was on that convention high, and I was, recruiting everybody and their mom that walked by me. I was like, man, I'm at the greatest company. I was all excited. And yet during that week or two, right after convention, I kept encountering people that I didn't have an objection handler for. They were like, oh, yeah, I don't pay 20% to my current company. And, why would I do that? Why? Unless I'm going to recruit a whole lot and make back that $16,000 that I'm going to pay to eXp, it doesn't make any sense. And I got to say, there's no objection handler for that. It doesn't make any sense. You either get out of the business of selling real estate and recruit so you can get your $16,000 back, or you don't pay the $16,000 in the first place because you're not doing production and you just turned into recruiters. And so that time and time again, encountering people, and at the same time, somebody that I've been talking to a long time did end up coming over to eXp, signed up under somebody else, that type of stuff happens. But at the same time, David Doty put out a post that he had left eXp, and I called him up on that convention high, ready to give him a bad time about, what could he have possibly found better, because I knew online was the way to go. And I thought he joined an office. I thought he joined a brick and mortar and was going to have to pay for it. And, couldn't possibly get a better split than $16,000 a year. Right. So he's posted on LinkedIn, and I gave him a call, and I really was calling to, I want to stay up on the market, but I, also thought, I wanted to know what his problem was with eXp. And so we had a really good conversation. You guys happened to be in town, and we were able to meet with you the next morning. But a number of things had to happen. But I will say, when I heard that, yeah, it's online still, and it's 100% commission, man, that stuck in my brain, and I just couldn't come up with, why would I not be doing that? Why what is it that, yeah, sure, I was drinking the Kool-Aid over there at eXp, and they like to give KW a bad time for having Kool-Aid, but eXp's got their own version of it. And they've created a middleman, and it's called your upline. And they're getting paid out of your paycheck every single time you get paid. Your upline does. And it's not out of the company dollar. And they like to poo-poo on splits of KW, but the truth is they created their own split, and it's might be a little bit less. So anyhow, that's I don't remember what the question was at the beginning of this, but I will tell you, I had those things to say, so I got them out there.
No, that was good. That was good. It was good because it's true. Those conventions. I loved Remax conventions. I spoke for Remax. We were the fastest growing Remax in 2012, and so I loved convention. You do good on this massive high, and we are definitely going to do that here at Call It Closed. We love convention high. We love the bonding, and that's why we right before Corona we were gathering once or twice a month where Chad and I would even fly into that area. And you guys were meeting like once a week, I think, right? Weren't you bringing in?
Yeah, we started every other week.
Yeah, so every other weekend. So you brought in a lot of agents, I know. Congratulations on that, with Call It Closed, because we do have a residual thing that comes back to you from the transaction fee. So how has that been able to help you recruit?
So it's an important part. To stay on the same footing as eXp, but it's great that it's so different. It's not out of my paycheck. And I love how it's reversed. Whenever I explained it to the eXp comp plan, it was this unattainable 40 recruits to get to that 7th level where most of the money was at. And that was frustrating because when you join a company, you're going to call the person that got you into it. You've got their cell number. They're the person that just did this and hopefully can lead you through the process. And yet the majority of the money at eXp was that guy 7 levels back up there that doesn't know your name, that's got,
right,
3,000 or 4,000 people maybe
you've
on
never
his
met
7th
him.
level. Right.
They don't know who you are.
Right.
You don't have their phone number to call them up, and yet they're making all kinds of money off of you.
Right. So when we came over here and saw that Chad had reversed that compensation plan, said, okay, the first level, the guy that you're going to call, that's going to step you through the process of ordering signs and ordering business cards and figuring out how to log in, and you can call him and he'll take your call because he knows your name and he talked to you and introduced you to this concept. He should make the majority of the money. It's not the guy that's down there 7 levels that doesn't know who you are, that you're a number in their downline. And I firmly believe if there was somebody 7 levels above me, that we're a small enough company that it would still make sense for them to take my call. But as we grow, that 7th level is not going to, I hope to one day be on somebody's 7th level and have a big base underneath me of people. But that's just it. My first line, it makes sense for that person to get paid the most money because they do the most work for you and they actually introduce you to the opportunity. So, and everybody that I've introduced to the opportunity to is grateful. They might not be in the right place in their business where they feel like they can make the move. And I'll say there's still some eXp Kool-Aid drinkers that understand that, they're going to pay more for being over there. And they're just one of those that's harder for them to move. And that's great. When they do come over, they'll be just as loyal over here. I talked to somebody the other day. She was at KW 13 years and finally made the move to eXp. She reached out to me to try and recruit me to eXp, believe it or not. And I take that as an opportunity. Anytime somebody tries to recruit me, I'm like, you just gave me permission to take about 20 minutes of your time telling you why. You're going to find out what I found out, which is you signed up to pay $16,000 a year. Unless you're hitting icon, then you're hoping the people that you recruited don't find out about what we got over here at Call It Closed. You're selfishly hoping they don't find out about a better opportunity. And because when you recruit somebody at eXp, here's the other thing that people don't talk about much. When you recruit somebody over there, you get this 3-year vesting award that goes away when they leave. If you don't make it to 3 years with them. So when I came and joined, the person that recruited me got this award. I feel bad, but guess what? That award went away when I left eXp.
Wow.
So, and everybody that I recruited when I left, they didn't give it to me. So I think it makes much more sense to have it the way we have it over here, which is, look, get paid the money in the transaction, pass on the transaction fee to your clients. They're used to it. Nobody ever objects to it. And then turn around and the company splits that dollar with the upline or the people that got you into the business, that introduced you to getting 100% commission. So I like our compensation plan, and I'm excited to see us grow, and I'm excited to get that first convention that we get to go do here. So
Yeah.
I'll be at that first one and everyone. So
and it's easy to talk to people about it. It's like, there's so many agents that we, encounter all the time. And so we get people that say, hey, why did you switch over? And so it's an easy conversation, and it's kind of a no-brainer.
Yeah.
And so we have had a lot of people move over. And so this last month, just from the transactions that people have closed underneath us, we made double what we paid for our monthly for being a part of Call It Closed. So we're actually making more on the monthly than we're even putting in. And so that was kind of exciting to see. Oh yeah, now we're actually seeing a little bit of that residual coming in and covering all of our expenses for even being at the company in the first place. So
that's huge, and that's a great. I'm glad you brought that up, Melissa, because that was going to be my next question. Is, with you guys being at eXp, and you've only been with us for a short period of time, how many agents did you recruit while you were at eXp? Because I know you were doing it aggressively. And then how many have you recruited since you've been with us?
So I think we had a total of 6 agents that came over to eXp while we were there. Now, some of them came over here to Call It Closed with us. But when we came over here, the first thing I did was created this tiny little video. Didn't think this thing was going to live for very long. I had talked to Chad, and I had arranged a little meeting. He wanted a venue, and I had set that up, and kind of in closing on the little I had talked to him about, here's the venue, this is what we've got. We got a screen, we got a parking lot, this type of thing. Here's the location of it. And I kind of just said, look, now my job is to get it filled. This room will seat 20 people. Now I got to get some people there. And this was I think it was on a Friday, so Saturday, he was coming on Tuesday, and I was concerned that he was going to be sitting there talking to an empty room. And so I said, all right, I got to get this video put together. And I did it in one take. I just created this little video, and I thought Saturday I'd make it, send it out to some people at eXp that knew us and knew why that we had left. And then I thought by Tuesday, this is going to be a non-existent thing. I mean, it might as well be deleted, right? It doesn't exist. But no, it still is out there, and I've made it a public video now, and people have shared it, and I have no problem with it. I just had no idea. I probably would have put more production value into it. Let's put it that way. I didn't have a nice fancy ring light back then, and so it was just a quick little video, just saying why I left eXp. And I have nothing against eXp, but I want to see that everybody that has an opportunity to make more makes that decision.
Yeah.
And so that's really what this was. An opportunity to tell people where we went to, and here's why you might want to consider it. And so that immediately brought over, we have a total of 9 people on our first level. And so that has been, kind of the beginning. I keep wanting to do more, but I figure, how could I do better than that one, right? But yeah, I keep wanting to do more videos, and I will. But I also like the in-person recruiting that we started doing. So I enjoy that aspect, but and an opportunity for agents to get together and train and things like that. So
I love that. That's so amazing. So all that time at eXp, all that recruiting, 6 agents with us just a short while, and you've already got 9, and then that's, even expanding underneath you. And so I love that, and so I think that's incredible. And I think you guys are such a gift to Chad and I. We love having you guys. We love the sense of family with our agents, and we want to stay even as big as we get, we always want to be personable and really care about our agents, because we're agents, and that's one of the things that people in other companies, I hear it all the time. Oh, we're agents for agents. KW says that, EXP says that. Even Century 21 back in the day, it was an agent, and Remax was an agent, and that created those businesses. But those people are out of the business now. They're not agents. Their kids or somebody else is running that wasn't agents, and so we're agents. We're still actively in the business, and we want to stay connected with our agents and really just grow. And we know that, with us, we're just a part of the downline ourselves, because we give back so much to our agents, with the, it's a $99 a month for those that are wondering, well, how much does it cost to be a part of this? It's only $99 a month. And with that, you get a ton of other things. It would cost you about $1,000 a month of just stuff that we give you if you were to go out and get it on your own, plus back offices and training. We actually have free coaching for 6 months from a company and a gentleman that does training and gets paid big money to train. And so we really are trying to always push our agents to do more business. Our focus is to increase your business as agents, and then also give you the option to do the recruiting. And so, and we try to put support around you to do that. So it's been so much fun chatting with you guys. We're going to do more of this. I'd love to hear more from Melissa too, but I know we've been on for about 45 minutes. So next time me and you will do one, Melissa, we'll let Brent go.
He's the talker.
I know, and he was saying how he's not the talker. I'm like, what is he talking about?
Yeah.
So, and we'll get Chad on here sometime too. But I definitely love that you guys are a part of the pre-launch, and we're about to launch here now. We're in 5 states. We're about to be in 2 more states. So that'll give us 7 states, which is incredible. And so if you have any questions, you are an EXP agent. This is Brent and Melissa Young. You can definitely reach out to them. They will answer any questions that you might have, or and it can be private and confidential, if there's anything that you would want to know. Or if you're with KW, he's been with KW. He was with Century 21, and he's got some experience underneath him. And even if you're a rookie, and you've been in the business for maybe a year, there's a lot of agents that are in the business a year, and you're looking at your career going, can I actually make this a career thing? Well, you know what? You better talk to somebody that's actually made it a career and will be the career, for the rest of their lives. And it's like, I don't want to ask questions to people that don't know what they're talking about. I want to talk to people that actually have done what I'm trying to do. So reach out to Brent and Melissa if you're a buyer or seller and you find this video. They're in the Charlotte area, South Carolina area, North Carolina, and they're an incredible team. They take care of their clients like they treat their family. I can't say enough good things about them. Look at them up, the Brent Young team, and contact them directly. And so, Brent, how can people contact you? What's the best way, Melissa? Through your Facebook, or do you guys have a website? What would you people to contact you?
So I would say the best way to reach us is phone call. We have an office number, 704-940-MOVE, or my cell phone direct is 704-559-9899. I love to talk to clients. I love to talk to agents that are new in the business. Love to help recruit people from KW, eXp. I'm more than happy to have conversations as to what, if you're somebody that just wants to hear, what was the hard parts? What was what are some pitfalls? I don't sugarcoat it. This is a tough business, especially if you do it the way we did it, where we have no sphere of influence. We have no family and friends in the cities that I've practiced real estate in. But it's possible to have a really rewarding career in real estate. And I went to college some, and Melissa didn't go to college. So to make the kind of money that we make in real estate, I just don't know of any other method that we have the opportunity to make these kind of dollars without going to college 4, 6, 8 years. And pretty much you've made a decision then that your career is going to be this the whole time. In real estate, you go get a real estate license, you can do, You could be new home sales, you could be resales, you could be, there's a lot of ways to use a real estate license. So we're definitely excited to talk to agents. We're excited to be a part of Call It Closed. More than happy to help. And certainly if anybody has clients that they want to refer to us, we're more than happy to do that as well.
And I'm on social media a lot as well. So Facebook, LinkedIn, whatever, find me on there. I'm always on there messaging people and things like that. So that's a great way to get a hold of me as well. Or I like to text. And my phone number is 704-877-3354. So.
Awesome. And we'll put that down in the comments. And if you're not ready to chat with somebody as an agent, you just want to look at the comp plan and the things that we talked about, you can always go to joincallitclose.com and look at that confidentially. Nobody's going to be blowing your phone up or anything of that nature. So that's joincallitclose.com, and then reach out to one of us if you have any other questions. So it's so good to see you guys' face. You know, it's really incredible what technology can do these days. Thinking back of the days when we got in, Brent, we're how far. So yeah, excited to chat with you guys. We'll be back doing more interviews, and appreciate you joining us today, and we'll talk to you soon. Have a great day.
You too. Thanks, Aprile.
Bye.
Bye.